We're going to start with our first pick. Remember, we're giving you 10 stocks. We're going to start with my renowned colleague. Renowned, I like that. Renowned.
I like that too.
You like that too?
I like that, yeah.
And I'm not going to boost your. I don't want to refine it. Define it. I don't want to refine it or define it. I can't spell it. Yeah, it is. Starting with Jerry. Jerry, the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. I'm Jerry D'Ambrosio. I'm the manager of educational content at VectorVest. Been with VectorVest now 13 years. I'm heavily involved in a lot of our courses, our Trade Like a Pro course, Master the Art of Candlestick Analysis course. I fill in the Jockey Club from time to time. So I've been, like I said, with VectorVest 13 years. Started trading heavily about 8 years or so ago. And I'm big into technical analysis. I like to trade chart patterns and candlestick formations. I love trading and managing trades based on bullish and bearish patterns. The first thing I want to do, guys, we'll talk about the 3 picks that I have today. And what we'll do first is we'll go into the viewers. So before charting any stock, what you should do is put your stocks in a watch list. We've done that already. And the first pick for today that I've selected is Home Depot. So it is holiday related, right? So let's just kind of quickly go through the analysis. I'll go through the analysis of all 3 stocks first, then we'll go into the chart for each. Home Depot, I would say it's fully valued. The price is $233, value is $225, so it's right there. It's fully valued. You might be paying a little bit of a premium, technically an $8 premium, but it is a good stock, as we'll see here from the analysis that we'll go through. Relative value, if you're not a VectorVest subscriber, RV is the upside potential, long term, of the stock. It's on a 0 to 2 scale. Above 1's good, below 1 is bad. So you got good upside potential here over the next 1 to 3 years. It's a very, very safe stock. Relative safety is an indicator of risk. So there's not much risk with this investment, with this trade. RS is at 1.46. Now the RT indicator is just about at 1.05. So you'll see in a moment why I selected this stock. It's not in a very strong uptrend, and that's what RT measures. But again, I'll explain why I selected the stocks, but this stock in particular. But the fundamentals are very good. Just scroll over to the right, Glenn. Actually, close your left panel down a little bit. Gotcha. Give us a little bit more room. It's currently got a hold rating. You'll see why on the chart. Earnings growth rate, a little over 12%. You could scroll over just to see that. Good earnings growth rate as well. All right, scroll back over to the left and scroll down. Taylor Morrison is one of the other stocks that I picked. Now, this is a company actually that's somewhat near and dear to my heart. My wife and I, and one of the reasons why I picked it, my wife and I are building at the moment a Taylor Morrison home. So I've gotten familiar with the company a little bit. Really bunch of great people that I've dealt with, and I've started tracking the stock ever since we went under contract.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. $22 stock, valued at $34, so undervalued, so that's good. Good upside potential, 1.41 RV. A little bit of a riskier investment, I would say. Not too bad though. RS is a little bit below 1 at 0.98. Now the stock is definitely not in an uptrend. RT is at 0.87, and it currently has a sell rating. And if you scroll over to the right, you'll see earnings growth rate at 18%. So it's a fundamentally solid company. And again, once we get into the chart, I'll explain why I selected this one. And the last one is up at the top, I believe. Where is it? Oh, Allstate, ALL. So price is 110, value is 146. So you're getting a nice deal there, a nice bargain. Another fundamentally sound company, 1.38 RV, 1.45 RS. Not in a very strong uptrend, 1.11 RT, and it does have a buy rating, good earnings growth rate at 10%. Okay, so that's your initial face value analysis. Let's go into the chart, and I'll explain why I selected these. Okay, Home Depot. So we talked about fundamentals a little bit. Really nice earnings performance there at the bottom. You could see earnings per share go from bottom left to upper right. Nice little pop recently too with earnings per share. We're looking at a 1-year chart here. So the 2 moving averages at the top. Glenn, do me a favor. Take off the last close. Take off that horizontal orange line. And let's go to a 6-month chart. So The blue moving average, that's a 50-day moving average. The yellow moving average, that's the 150-day moving average. So intermediate term moving average above the longer term moving average, price hovering right over that 50. So it's a pullback trade. We're trying to buy the recent dip. So that's why you saw that it had a hold rating and the RT wasn't quite above, not too far above 1, right? It's because it has pulled back a little bit over the last few weeks. It's still above its 50. The 50 is still above the 150. You got some nice separation too between the two moving averages. Okay, so trend is strengthening even though price has pulled back a little bit because the pullback has been from a new high. Okay, stochastics also just recently over the last couple of days crossed from below 20 to above 20. So that's a nice entry right there when it crosses from below 20 to above 20. So I really like this trade. You could see it just recently kissed the 50-day moving average. So let's say today's Wednesday. We're later on in the session. Maybe if you don't buy it today, you wait for tomorrow. You wait for follow through tomorrow. The stock price, let's say right now it's at a high of 234.52. Let's say that high holds. That's the high today. Okay. 234.52. Let's say that high holds. I'm going to want to see price go above 234.52 tomorrow before pulling the trigger. So again, we're trying to buy this dip. Price has kissed the 50-day, retracing nicely from the 50-day, and that's the play there. Okay. Let's go. We'll save Taylor Morrison. We'll go to Allstate. And this is just a breakout trade here, a breakout play above resistance. You can see, and just go to a 6-month chart. You can see solid resistance there. Glenn, hover your mouse over that resistance line. Man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches in that. What's that price? What's that resistance? It's hard to tell. Well, whatever that zone is, whatever that price zone is, you can see 5 resistance touches within that zone. Just recently, yesterday, in fact, we had a breakout on higher than average volume as well. We could see a nice spike in volume yesterday, breakout above resistance. So I'm going to use yesterday's high for my trigger here for this one, unless today's high winds up being higher than yesterday's high. So I just want, with a breakout trade above resistance, I want higher highs to be established before I enter. You got a high yesterday of 111. So again, if today's high doesn't break out above yesterday's high, I'm going to use yesterday's high as my entry point. So this is a nice breakout trade. Got a buy rating recently as well from VectorVest. Glenn, what was the RT rating for Allstate?
Should be pretty good.
1.10.
1.10. So it's above 1, and you can see from recent price action, right? And you could put on RT, Glenn. Probably moving sideways for a while, yeah. Not in a very strong uptrend. You're not going to generally get high RT ratings when you've seen price move sideways for quite a long time, like we've seen with this stock, and then again, eventually, or just recently breaking out above resistance. So that's a breakout play here, breaking out above resistance. And the last one?
Oh, before you go there, you know what I like about this trade? Over the last 3 months, historically, look at what this trade has done. Before it went sideways, and now this could be the onset of a new upward trend.
Yep.
RT, even when it went sideways, RT, that indicator, that's a smart indicator for all you guys that are not subscribers to the software. RT looks at the short-term price trend of the stock, and even when the stock's price pulled back or set and got settled into that sideways move, RT stayed above the value of 1. And over this 6-month time period, it stayed above the value of 1. So that lends credence to the idea that not only did it break, it actually broke through here, followed through, tested support, tested as a level of support, now getting more follow through going up. But historically, the stock's price has gone up on good RT. RT starting to bounce and run up now. That could be an entry, really good entry
also
into that stock.
Go back to a 1-year chart and put earnings on. So there's always a layer of fundamentals that I want to add
that's even
to a
more
technical
beautiful
trade. So even though I'm looking really just at price and volume, and that's what I've spoken on so far, I still like earnings. Earnings is going to drive that price higher and higher. So again, just another added layer of analysis there. So Last one, Taylor Morrison.
I also like the commercials for Allstate.
Sure.
Okay.
Man like you.
Like you.
All right. Now, many of you are going to look at this one and say, are you crazy? But let me explain. First off, let's go to a one-year chart. Fundamentals are solid, right? Earnings performance, bottom left to upper right. Nice little spike recently in earnings. So it's got that fundamental piece to it, right? You could take off earnings. Stochastics, so now we're looking strictly technical now. Stochastics is really oversold. It's below 20. So a lot of upside, I feel, here moving forward based on the strong fundamentals. Fundamentally sound, technically a little oversold. Love the upside. Also, we're looking at a one-year chart. We're looking at end-of-day data points, so end-of-day bars. You could see price just recently retraced from support. Okay? So we have the stock's price just recently retraced from daily support. Go to a 5-year chart, and you see the price also at weekly support. All right, so it seems like we've established a nice floor here, both on a weekly chart and a daily chart. Go back to a 3-month chart. And 2 days ago, and the reason why I really like this is the stock's price at support formed a bullish pattern. I said earlier I like trading bullish candlestick patterns, and it formed a bullish pattern called a bullish engulfing. That's that big green bar that you see right there at support. Okay, so bullish engulfing 2 days ago, that was Monday. Follow through yesterday, that's important. Okay, had a nice day yesterday. Stochastics is still really oversold, that's okay. It's starting to curl upward though. That's the play there. Still a sell rating, so you're bottom fishing here. You're bottom fishing for a fundamentally sound company that, technically speaking, is oversold. You know, in that crash there, it seems like just a little bit of an over-exaggeration or an overreaction. Look, if this company wasn't as fundamentally sound as they currently are, I wouldn't be too keen on it. You also have a gap down there just recently, so we expect price to come back and fill that gap eventually. So I like this play, retracement off of support, bullish candlestick formation, oversold, fundamentally sound. Tim's asking, how are their fundamentals? Fundamentals are great. Let's go back to the stock viewer. We see long-term earnings performance, right? Taylor Morrison, there we go. It's undervalued, great upside potential. You know, when you have an RS of 0.98, it's fair. You know, it's not at 1.2, 1.4, but they, as you can see from that chart, they've done a good job. Particularly recently, meeting or beating their earnings expectations, and you got a nice earnings growth rate there at 18%. Okay, but that's the bottom fishing play there that I've selected.
I'm going to chime in. These guys are quiet today. Oh, go
I
ahead.
was going to let Jerry finish before I come.
Yeah.
Did you not finish?
I'm done now, yes.
Okay, you were finished
Now he's
before
done.
I got this. Don't even start. All right, I'm
Being nice. Go
ahead.
Jump in.
Go ahead, jump in now.
I was just going to comment a couple of things on the two of the stocks. This is a great one, and I love the way that Jerry uses the support and resistance. I know I said this on the panel before, but my experience, these guys are experts on candlesticks. I don't know anything about candlesticks, but the technical indicator that I love to use is support and resistance. I learned that from my days as a market maker. That's where the supply and demand. Where are the buyers? Where are the sellers? Jerry does a great job using the support and resistance there. I thought the Allstate was a great one, a great breakout trade. Using that high, what you'll also get, the way I like to look at it, is a candlestick that's not touching that, what is now support line. A full candlestick above that resistance line would be great to see, and you'd get that if it goes above the high.
Yep.
So great picks. And then one last comment, Allstate and Home Depot, by the way, I'll talk about relative safety in a minute, but you saw the RSs on these stocks. I love to see trading of these wonderful, this could have come off any retirement search that we use, so I love that. So great job.
Thank you, Jim. One question I think somebody was asking about TMHC. Yeah, so good point. It's heading down today, right? So we're not just going to put a market order in right now. We're going to use today's high. So forget about trading the stock now. Let's wait till tomorrow. Stock goes above whatever today's high is. that's when we'll look to get in. So good point there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Back on that, I mean, I think Jerry would agree here. Not today, but yesterday was a good day to buy it
Yesterday
too.
was a great day to buy. Yeah,
And-
off the confirmation off the bullish engulfing. Sure.
Yeah, and when you look at risk to potential reward here,
Yep.
it's like 8-1. It looks like.
Yeah. If you're looking at the most recent high there as your solid target.
Where the marker is.
Yeah,
on the H.
right. And your risk is right at support. You're not going to let the stock go any further down past support before getting out. So yeah, risk reward ratio there is solid.
It's great. Since you're a trader.
Yes, right.
Even from a trade perspective, this is ideal because I was poised to come in here and go, holy smokes, why are you picking this trade? Makes sense.
Okay.
It does make sense. And you know, what is the best type of trade to get into? Buying low and selling high. I love that the stochastics is telling you it's oversold. It's now getting out of that oversold territory, bouncing off support. And the question of the statement was that it's going down today. Really? It's got more of a doji going on where the price of the open and the close are very
It's indecision.
infinitesimal.
No, it's indecision.
All right, fine. All right. Anyway, it is indecision. That's the real. But the price movement between the open and the close are small. That is a level of indecision. The earnings behind that, that is the gasoline behind it to start moving this stock up. And you know something? You got a lot of upside to that level of the high, which is sitting, I hate when that happens, sitting at the point of 28 bucks. Folks, you got $6 on a $22 trade, 6, 12, 18, 20. It's about 25%.
20-25%.
20-25% potential move. And you know something? As a means to getting out, that's a good opportunity to take the profit off the table at that point. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.